We want our sovereignty and our stability to be respected.
What happens when the emperor realizes the empire is fading? What happens when a voice that once echoed over continents now trembles in reflection? Emmanuel Macron shocked the world. Not because of what he controls, but because of what he has lost. Sovereignty, pride, dignity, he said it. But we've been saying it long before him. Africa is awake. The world is shifting. And France is running out of excuses. In a moment that caught global observers off guard, the President of France stood before the world and used words once forbidden in the language of French diplomacy: sovereignty, pride, dignity. But this wasn't a lesson for Africa. It was a mirror, held up to a Europe questioning its identity in a changing world.
Southeast Asia is caught in the confrontation between the U.S. and China, and Macron is hoping to show France as a potential alternative trading partner, saying they know and can rely on France.
Nous ne voulons pas dépendre des grandes puissances.
We don't want to be dependent on the great powers. We want to cooperate, but be able to choose. That means in every area of the game: our education, innovation, industry, health, energy, geopolitics, and defense. We want to be able to work with the Americans and the Chinese. We want to have the best relations in the world, but not to be dependent on them. We want our sovereignty and our stability to be respected. We want our sovereignty and our stability to be respected. We want our sovereignty and our stability to be respected.
For decades, Africa was lectured about these values by the very nations that stole them. They came in the name of civilization, left behind chaos, and now fear the return of a continent no longer asking for permission. Macron says sovereignty must be respected. Yet France built its modern power on denying sovereignty to others. So now, when Africa reclaims what is rightfully hers, France calls it betrayal.
We had a security relationship. In truth, it had two sides. One part was our commitment against terrorism since 2013, and we were right. I think people forgot to thank us. It's okay. Gratitude will come with time. Ingratitude is something we've seen before. It's a disease passed on by men. I say this for all the African leaders who didn't have the courage to speak the truth to their own people. None of them would still have a sovereign country today if the French army hadn't deployed in the region. I have heartfelt thoughts for our soldiers, who at times gave their lives and who fought for years. We did the right thing. We left because there were coups. We were there at the request of sovereign states. They asked France to come. That only stands as long as those states remain stable. When there were coups and the new authorities said, our priority is no longer fighting terrorism, it's this or that, well, that changes everything. France would not pursue that mission anymore.
Pride is not a monument in Paris. It is a people standing tall after centuries of silence. It is Burkina Faso saying, we will protect our land ourselves. It is Mali walking away from neo-colonial games. That pride is not just African, it is human. Dignity is not spoken, it is lived. And for Africa, dignity means ending dependency, rewriting history, and reshaping our future. Macron's words may surprise Europe, but in Africa, this message is not new. The only surprise is that France is finally saying it out loud.
I think the AES is an example for all of us to follow and to look towards. And so with that, I think what we want to first do is get into the conversation of ending Africa's plunder. The Sahel takes back its resources. So the Alliance of Sahelian States is leading the transformation of Africa by reclaiming its natural resources as part of a decolonial effort. Burkina Faso and Mali have long relied on gold mining as the backbone of their economies. In Niger, uranium mining has driven their economy. However, since the people-backed anti-imperialist coups, or revolutions we should say, swept Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger in recent years, putting an end to neo-colonial rule, the countries have fought multinational corporations for greater control over their mineral resources and a more just share of the profits generated.
If Macron is finally waking up, then let him listen clearly. We are not the shadows of your empire. We are the authors of a new world order. rooted in justice, in memory, and in the blood of ancestors who never bowed. If you believe in a free Africa, if you stand for truth over propaganda, if you want to see a continent rise on its own terms, then share this message. Follow our page. Comment your thoughts. Educate others. Because silence is complicity. This broadcast is based on public remarks by President Emmanuel Macron and the ongoing political discourse around African sovereignty. It reflects a Pan-African editorial perspective intended to spark conversation, not conflict. We advocate for peaceful solutions, critical thought, and respectful dialogue among nations.